Long ago, in the kingdom of Eldermere, there lived a noble king named Alistair and his queen, Seraphina. King Alistair was beloved by his people, wise, just, and kind-hearted. He ruled with compassion, always putting the needs of his subjects before his own. But his queen, though beautiful and cunning, harbored a darkness within her. Seraphina had not always been greedy. Once she had loved Alistair deeply, enchanted by his gentle spirit. But as the years passed, her heart grew restless. She craved power, wealth, and admiration beyond what the kingdom could offer. She whispered in the king's ear, urging him to raise taxes, to wage wars for gold, to build grand palaces, while the people toiled. Alistair, weary but devoted to her, often conceded, though each decision weighed heavily on his soul. One fateful night, as the king lay in restless slumber, Seraphina slipped into the royal library, where ancient and forbidden tomes were kept. There, she uncovered a spell, one that could grant her eternal youth and boundless riches. But at a terrible cost. The spell required the life force of a pure-hearted ruler. With cold determination, she crept back to their chambers and cast the enchantment over Alistair as he slept. His breath slowed, his body stilled, and his mind drifted into an endless slumber. The kingdom mourned, believing their king had fallen ill, but Seraphina wore her grief like a mask. She seized the throne in his name, ruling with an iron grip, her greed growing with each passing day. Yet, as the years turned to decades, a strange thing happened. The land itself began to wither. Crops failed, rivers dried, and the people grew gaunt under Seraphina's rule. The more she took, the more the kingdom decayed. Whispers spread that the land was bound to the true king's spirit, and so long as he slept, Eldermere would suffer. One evening, an old woman arrived at the castle, her eyes sharp with knowing. She stood before the queen and spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "You have taken his waking hours, his love, his breath, yet still, his heart beats for his people. Break the spell, or watch your kingdom crumble to dust." Seraphina, now hollow-cheeked and desperate, realized the truth too late. She had thought the spell would grant her everything, but instead it had taken all meaning from her life. The gold she hoarded could not fill the void left by Alistair's absence. Trembling, she returned to his bedside, where he lay as if frozen in time. Tears, the first she had shed in years, fell upon his still face as she whispered the words to undo the curse. Alistair's eyes fluttered open, and the moment he drew breath, the land shuddered with renewal. Rain fell upon parched earth, flowers bloomed in withered fields, and the people rejoiced. The king rose, weak but alive, and looked upon his queen with sorrow. He had heard her whispers in his dreams, felt her regret in the darkness. But trust, once broken, could not be so easily mended. "You may keep your crown," he said softly, "but you shall never again share my heart." With that, he walked away, leaving Seraphina alone in her gilded halls, surrounded by all the riches she had coveted, yet poorer than she had ever been. And so, the kingdom of Eldermere flourished once more, its people singing tales of the sleeping king who had returned to them. But in the shadows of the palace, the greedy queen wept, for she had learned too late that no treasure could ever replace love.